Right. So I told you before, people practice in self-condemning. And their practice in self-condemning is not easy. And I don't advise practicing self-condemning. What they do, they kill stuff and they do terrible things on purpose to piss off and provoke God and get cut off and away from God. And it has this little bonus opportunity of a snaky, serpent-y, Satan-y kind of thing that'll tell you how to exploit and destroy and do terrible things. But they have an advantage over everyone, is what I'm saying. There's lots of good people in the world who don't have this, but you're being exploited. These are gypsies. They exploit a lot of sex magic and stuff, and they're getting educated, you know what I mean? Like America went to Liberia and educated them, and lots of dead baby fucking shit. And they came to my country and they educated all Gardaí and everybody, even Irish military were executing cattle and stuff. But royalty are a lot of these gypsies, is what I'm saying. Like, you know, I always say gypsies and you might think I mean a traveller or a Romanian gypsy. I mean these people are royalty. And we're royalty, okay. I'm going to specify this really. Okay. I'm Jacob. This happens. Rebirth of heater bees. Royalty don't let you know this really, and they used to be heater bees or descendants of heater bees, and they cling on to this, and they just hang around then and harvest all the other actual heater bees. They probably have fortunes, massive holy fortunes in the world, and they just harvest. They might make you a pop star or something. They might treat you nice, or they might just rape you, sodomize you, cheat you, and dispose you like they did to me. And they are royalty. Like, I mean, these are the wealthiest people in the world. They're going to be monster bankers in this time. They're going to have my name, my aura, my power, and they're going to be very popular, even and persuasive. But even undefeatable in a way, you know. They stole like King David's birthright, and are undefeatable until you return the power back to the temple, back to. Or was it Jesus who returned the power of the temple back to John, or the Levite really, who was suffering it? It was the lion that saved the lamb. But yeah, I wanted to talk about royalty, and I can't really focus because I'm very, very manipulated. So scarletry, like I reckon they must have been involved in some sort of scarletry the entire time, or some sort of exploiting a wife or Mary or somebody of Christ. And was even warned about this before Christ in Revelations. They did this for ages by accident. It was the cause of all perdition, sickness, and pestilence and plague. And it looks like they did it as well, all the way up to like 1,500 years into Christianity until Islam showed up. But they were all screwing and sodomizing important people in the world, and that's they might have got away with it a lot before, but it's supposed to be like something like the last bit of thread there is, and they can't get away with it this time. So they cheated me, they screwed me over, just like I said in Revelations, and they're all very embarrassed about it, and they won't cough up about it. But while they're not coughing up about it, you will all burn, die, and suffer. Like, you will reap what I've been sowing, and I've been sowing torment, isolation, like everything ever loved or cared for has been torn apart and destroyed, or consumed, or raped, or hunted. And it's all ahead of you. Your families will be broken. Everything that happened, starvation period, destroyed, dissimulated, bullied. That will happen to the world by these people, these bullies. These boxy, wealthy, rich-to-do bullies. You know, Havana syndrome clocked everybody pretty quickly, and they're all very well-to-do people. They all had these probably little scummy little stars. Stars like to do with heater bees. It's very simple, and it's not very like you know, you're all been worshipping heater bees and stuff like this, and you know, they make you glow and they change you, and they think, oh, they take away sins. Let's pile all the sins of humanity onto one and then try and crucify it. And weird sodomistic sciences they probably tried to do. It's very simple. You're just meant to befriend me. I always was a blessing, probably in disguise. I never realised this. Nice people are teachers and givers, but they find out about it and they flood the temple, and then you're you're a monster in disguise. You're walking around monsters. But so just specifically royalty. I could tell you like names if you wanted to know names, and gypsies don't help you really. Pied Piper is the fact that these people. Oh yes, I wanted to say was I'm Jacob now. So basically, anything royalty is Jacob. Jacob is like, you know, if you're fashioner, that is the centre of royalty. His closest 14 people who happen to be sons in the Bible, 14 sons, for convenience sake, probably in raising poetry, are royalty, are the essence of royalty. These 14 families are royal families. They came from Jacob. Jacob's 14 closest friends and family. Like, I love my dog, you know, and they exploited my dog massively because I was very lonely in life. Not lonely, but they removed everybody from my life, and I pet my dog and my dog. So saying essence of all, like, you know, royalty. But so basically in Judaism and all pertain back to these 14 families. So like you're very wealthy and well connected if you're Jewish, basically, because you're connecting back to Jacob. It's very anti-Israel then to attack me. Okay, very anti-royal, because you have your friends and your families of royalty and you all protect each other, and for a reason, because your standard of life makes the standard of life of everybody in your community. It's actually an equilibrium of your luxury to their suffering. So you increase their suffering and their luxury. Netherlands and all do that. They don't want a starving papist on the throne, because then everybody has to live in in equilibrium to a starving papist. And then they want, kind of cool people maybe on royalty in England, down to earthy kind of people, a bit more normal people. So the equilibrium shifts, and then like in Netherlands they have, like prostitutes and fucking junkies and so like the equilibrium shifts. There's not much expected kind of from their people or something like that. But so these people have been rolling high and living large, really, with my holy fortune, very much so, and being very popular about it while I was starving, tormented. So the equilibrium has been massively upside down. While I've been starving, tormented, and right, destroyed, filched, ruined. They've been riding high and causing COVID. They caused COVID, the starfuckery. So it entirely was like you can't breathe. Your destiny and all is cut off. Fucking Roth Vanderberg and all, wherever they were, gave everybody an orrery. I thought it was clever. Give everybody an orrery and a star, and then cut it off. So they were forcing every plant in the garden to flower, and then cutting it off and leaving open wounds. And you all got sick from it, and then you are all reconnecting and making messes, and it was hard to get you all back under one thing. But that was all. And that's why Havana syndrome was also very similar to it as well, because they all had their own private stars. And everyone in healthcare had private stars probably, but they're not great stars. They're probably stars of like a dead baby, or they're probably stars of like a little kid or whatever. Private stars under Christianity, Christian stars. But that's where it all came from: star fuckery and royalty, fucking stars and fucking your children, fucking your families. While you're out hard working, they claim all your entitlements, all your names and all your things, and they're screwing your wife and you're screwing your children. They're all dying and disappearing now, and COVID and stuff, because have it coming, in 400 years is going to be very apparent leprosy. It looks something like psoriasis and stuff, and rashes on your skins. From being so marked with the beast, from so marked with my wife. And all my children. 14 children of Jacob. These kids are hot stuff. Hot trash, I want to call my children hot trash, but they're all being protected probably in these lovely little orphan houses where they have everything they want. It's not very legitimate and all, it's very terrible, it's cerebral. It's just like the dragon consuming them the second they're born or functioned. I have so much more to say about royalty. So yeah, basically you're not Jewish if you attack me, you're not royalty if you attack me. So these people were probably, a lot of people were Jewish, or want to be Jewish, that's what Christian is, want to be Islamic. And a lot of people out there claiming to be royalty who cheated me, screwed me, raped me, put Jacob down the well. So they don't respect or befriend or keep the white between the red, which would have made them royalty. So they're not royalty anymore because they robbed me. Dutch, French. It's not royalty in Switzerland. Spanish, the Royal Union. There was a Traveller Union, and I thought it's very funny that they did business with all the mafia in Ireland. They wouldn't help me. They all conspired together to rip me off from my temple. Merchants all conspired together. So you are the people you work with, really, aren't you? Because the opposite of this is we need a majority, to outweigh all these gypsy trash. Like I said, I've got 15 subscribers. If I convinced or bothered them in their own way, I don't want to bother anybody in their way. It's not necessary, all this mess. It's very ill-dignified and it's very unsophisticated. This is why people confess lordship. You put the lordship back where it belonged, and then your confessions and all were safe again. And that's why you celebrate the fact that your confessions are free with Jesus, because they're not safe. And you got Pinkerton, information wars and rebellion. And disease, pestilence, plague, the famine period is upon you now, and you're seeing it. You are seeing the famine. I told you you're going to see the famine period after 7 years by Joseph, and you're seeing the famine period now, and it's going to be much worse. Global saturation, and in fact it was Jacob and his 14 children are fucked. So, I just want to say, this was meant to make a lot more hatred towards royalty. To be honest, I really wanted to stir shit up, but I just said the same stuff that I've said over and over again. So. Break a bear. guess I'll not eat the rich. Specifically, the rich is rich. Alright, bye.